I've been on YouTube for close to 10 years now at this point, which is a little crazy to say. I've officially hit Unk status, but when I first started vlogging, man, I was terrified. I would look around crazy before I would start filming. I would stop talking in the middle of my sentence if somebody would come around the corner while I was vlogging. I've done all of the above. I've also had so many trips or days where I would wake up super excited to vlog. I would have all of my gear together. I would film my opening shot at my house in my hotel. Like, yo, we vlogging today. Then I would get to my destination and I just wouldn't film anything. And I would say, well, I guess I'll vlog tomorrow. And this is terrible because vlogging or documentation is ultimately one of the most important parts of the creative journey. It gets people invested. You know, people can follow you through a journey or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. They can see your ups, they can see your downs, they can see what you're going through, they can see what you're working on. So ultimately, vlogging and documentation is one of the most important parts of this all. So if you have ever experienced any of these problems that I used to have, this video will help you a ton. The essence of filming in public ultimately starts with you being comfortable. And that can be hard to find when it's a lot going on. So one of the biggest things that I can recommend to you is to start in small spaces or just find your corner in the madness where you feel comfortable. Whenever I'm filming in heavily populated places like New York City, or I was just in China, or whenever I'm at an event where it's a ton of different creators, I like to just find my little safe space, you know, a space where it's not a lot of people at or any people at all, and just talk about my thoughts and experiences in those places. I find that whenever I do this, it warms me up to want to be around other people, or it helps me get my thought across about where exactly the vlog is going, and in turn, it will make me more comfortable to be able to film in these heavily populated places. I think another aspect of not wanting to vlog in public or where it's a lot of people at is that you just don't want to film other people. It can be very intimidating for you to pull a camera out when there's a lot of people around you because you don't necessarily want to film somebody who doesn't want to be filmed. So by doing this, it will combat this as a whole. For anybody who's been watching my content for a while, you will know that whenever I'm filming outside, I like to go to really beautiful places that is nobody at. And this is the main reason that I do this. I find that it's so much more comfortable for me to be by myself in nice looking places than it is to be in heavily populated places and try to get a nice shot where I feel uncomfortable. And then the filmmaking genre as a whole is an expensive genre to be into. So if you have a mirrorless camera with a super expensive lens, a super expensive microphone, a monitor, a tripod, all of these things, that can make you even more uncomfortable with wanting to pull this stuff out and film in public. So for me, I love going to places where there's nobody at. It's just my safe space. I can be creative. I can get the angles and the shots that I need. And ultimately, I think that it makes the video better as well. So if you've been feeling like this, just drive around and find places that there aren't a lot of people at. If you do this, you'll get more comfortable with filming outdoors, and in turn, eventually you'll be able to warm up to be able to move to heavily populated places and be more comfortable filming there. I don't know about y'all, but pulling a mirrorless camera out of your backpack with a big lens on it and a big microphone and a tripod can feel like the most intimidating thing in the world. And this is where different types of media come in clutch. For a long time, I can say that I was very guilty of this. I used to believe that my phone wasn't enough. I needed to pull my camera out. I needed to get a f1.4 shallow depth of field shot of what I was doing. And that was the only way that I could document my day in an effective way. I wasn't trying to rhyme there. That just seemed to rhyme. But I used to feel this way. I used to feel like, yo, my phone's not enough. But since I started to implement this, I'm telling you, it's better to have the shot because ultimately it's all about just capturing a moment. It doesn't matter the quality of it. If you're in a situation where you don't feel like pulling your camera out to film it, just pull your phone out and film the shot. Whenever I'm traveling, I am notorious for this. I don't really like filming at airports or where it's a lot of people. So a lot of the times I'll just pull my phone out and film whatever it is that I have going on. I don't want to go down a crowded airplane aisle with my camera out. I don't want to go through a crowded airport with my camera out. I just don't feel like doing it. But sometimes I need to capture that moment and I need to tell that story of me traveling to a specific place. And this is where my phone comes in clutch. Another instance where this is super helpful is sometimes you're going to be in places where you just aren't able to use your camera. In New York a couple months ago, I did a red carpet event when I was working with a brand, and I couldn't bring my actual camera to document the moment that was happening. So we just used my phone. We had some nice wireless microphones. We got some good audio. We filmed what was going on. And in turn, it helped tell the story perfectly fine. Fit in the vlog, everything was good. I didn't feel when I was looking at the vlog back that, oh, the quality of this is terrible, I can't use this. That's usually never the case. And I know some people just don't like using their phone because their phone is their phone. It's a lot going on your phone. You got text messages, you got emails, you got phone calls. I get that. But if you can afford another form of media, like an action camera, like a camcorder is awesome as well. We used the camcorder in New York the last time I was there, and it was so fun to look back through that footage, and it just gave it an overall different aesthetic. Or even just like the DJI Osmo Nano. This is something that I've been using a lot lately for behind the scenes, and I love it because it's hands-free. It makes it easy, and most of the time, all you need to do is just capture the freaking moment. Don't obsess over how sharp it is. Don't obsess over how great the audio is. Don't obsess over how great the colors are. Just capture the moment. That's all you need to do. Just switch the media up if you're ever in a situation where you don't want to pull your camera out, because it's more important for you to have the shot than to not have the shot. Every single time, you're always gonna feel like that. When we're vlogging, we always feel super inclined to tell everything that it is that we're doing when we're doing it, but you really don't have to do that. You could just tell the story later. I touched on this, I guess, concept a lot more in depth in another video that I dropped a couple months ago. I'll leave a link in the description below, but essentially the concept of this video and just, I guess, this topic that we're talking about right now is just film it. Just film the moment and don't say anything about it. You don't need to get on camera and say, yo, I'm eating a cheeseburger. I'm getting on a bus. I'm about to go get on a train. I'm about to get on a flight. You don't have to do that in the moment, because sometimes in the moment when it's happening, it can be a lot for you to pull your camera out and do that, or it can feel awkward for you to do that. All you need to do is just film it. You can get back home. You can get on one of these wireless microphones like this, or you can talk into your voice memos on your phone, or do whatever it is that you do to get voiceovers and give the story at that point. You don't have to pull your camera out and say everything that you're doing. I do this often, and I think another huge benefit of telling the story this way is a lot of the times you're able to tell the story a lot better in retrospect or after the fact, because you've already lived through it. You've already got a sense of where the vlog's going. You have a beginning of a vlog, you have an end of the vlog, and in turn, you're able to craft the vlog into a more concise story after the fact, because you can tell the parts of it that need to be there and you can leave out the parts that don't need to be there. Or those parts can simply just be B-roll to get you from one location to the next. You don't always have to pull your phone out or your camera out and say, I'm doing this. Sometimes you could just show it and you could just talk about it later. And then sometimes you're actually just living in the moment. You don't want to pull your phone or your camera out to even film those. And in those instances, you can just use stock footage to help tell the story that you're telling in the vlog. I use story blocks for all of my stock video needs. They got over 1 million assets to help tell whatever story it is that you're telling. They got stock footage, motion titles, motion templates, and they're all compatible with all of the major editing platforms out there. When I went to New York earlier this year, I used stock footage of the city because I was just too busy to get those specific shots. When I went to Salt Lake City earlier in the year, I used stock footage of the salt flats just to help me get those shots because I didn't have time. And then after the fact, I just talked about my experience being in these places. That's one of the biggest benefits of having a Storyblocks membership. You can use all of these things whenever you need them. Down in the description below will be a link for you guys to check it out. I highly recommend you guys sign up for an unlimited plan, because having stock assets when you're trying to tell a story is one of the biggest game changers, and it can help fill in a gap that you had when you're telling your story. To reiterate what I was saying, capture the moment and talk about it later. You ain't gotta pull your camera out and say everything that you're doing when it's happening. If you're gonna listen to anything in this video that I say, listen to this. When I was coming up as a freelance music video director, I would always be prepared for a business owner or somebody to just come out of the woodworks and say to me, yo, y'all can't film here. Y'all gotta stop filming here. Y'all gotta leave. Y'all gotta go somewhere else. And in turn, this conditioned me to just film the shot before anybody had an opportunity to say anything, because at that point, I already had the shot. So we good. When it comes to vlogging though, it took me a long time to get into this mindset, but this is a mindset that you should always have, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why. When you're traveling, that could legitimately be the only time in your life that you have to get the shot that you're trying to get. It's better for you to just get the shot and ask for forgiveness after the fact than to go on in life realizing that you didn't get one of the best shots of your lifetime. If I'm traveling and I see something that looks cool, I'm going to give every ounce of attempt at me getting that shot as I possibly can, because I know this could be the last possible time that I ever see this, that I'm ever in this specific spot with this specific architecture, with this specific weather. I have to be dialed in and know that, yo, this is your only time that you might have to get this. You got to get the shot. And in turn, by me doing this so much over the past couple of years of me vlogging and documenting my life as a creative person, what I've noticed about doing this as well is that as long as you act like you're not doing anything wrong, a lot of business owners aren't even going to tell you to stop. Just don't be vulgar about it. Don't try to be sneaky about it. Just genuinely act like you didn't think that it was a problem that you were filming in a place. And if they tell you to stop, then they just tell you to stop. It's cool. It is what it is. But if you go on in life and you know that, dang, I didn't get that shot, it's going to always haunt you, yo. You have to pull the camera out and get the shot. If you're in a coffee shop that you think looks cool, just pull your camera out and get the shot. Just do it, man. Get over the fear of feeling like you look stupid, or get over the fear of somebody telling you you can't film here and you can't do this. It is what it is. Just get the shot. Every single day, social media platforms are growing more and more. So in turn, that means that the majority of people around the world have gone on social media and seen somebody doing the exact same thing that you're trying to do. Being out in public, putting a camera in their face or putting their phone in their face and filming something. So it's never really as bad as it seems. I know it can often feel like you're being a weird person by pulling the camera out and talking to it, but almost every single person out in public has seen somebody do this in some capacity. I like to just lean into the awkwardness. Like, I understand that me doing this looks weird to a lot of people, so I just lean into it. And another thing that I've noticed about just leaning into the awkwardness is a lot of the times when people look at you when you're filming yourself, it's not because they think that you're weird. It's because they're genuinely intrigued by what you're doing. I've had so many people come up to me while I'm vlogging out in public and they ask me questions like, yo, what's the link to your channel? Or what is it that you talk about in your videos? Or they ask me about camera recommendations. They say, oh, I've been wanting to get into influencing myself. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, man. You got any tips or advice you can give to me? So you don't have to take the stares that you get as a negative thing. It could be a positive thing. It could be like, dang, you could really be inspiring somebody to get out of their shell and pull their camera out and start documenting their journey. You really just got to embrace it. If you want to be a content creator, if you want to be somebody who inspires people on the internet, if you want to be an influencer, whatever it is, I don't like to put labels or classify whatever it is that people do online, but if you want to be in this niche, if you want to be in this pool of people online who make content and inspire and motivate other people, then you have to just embrace what comes with it. Because at the end of the day, you getting out of your shell is the first step to you getting to this place that you want to be ultimately. So just go for it. All right. I hope I see all of y'all soon online somewhere. The people who want to be, all right, take that first step, take your camera outside and just start filming and just lean into it. You're going to feel awkward, but it is what it is, because at the end of the day, we got stuff that we need to achieve, and that's only going to start with you. So let's get it. All right. Peace. The problem with LUTs is they're way too situational. This is why I made the everyday cinema LUT. It looks good everywhere, every time. Indoors, outdoors, cloudy, sunny, artificial lighting, low light. It just looks good, and it's pretty much instant. I tested this look and formatted it for Sony, Canon, Fuji, and even iPhone. It's also 3 variations of this LUT to fit your temperature preference, and it even includes the DaVinci Resolve power grade for more in-depth adjustments. I use this look on all of my content. If you want your footage to look as good as mine's, make sure you check out the Everyday Cinema LUT.